Hello everyone. Thanks for tuning in and watching my video on role play in the classroom, a project for Instructional Strategies 3250 in the Professional Instructor Diploma program. In this video, I'm introducing the concept of role play as it relates primarily to adult education. But first, what exactly is role play? Role play uses the previous experiences of the adult learner to encourage reflection and insight. It usually includes two or more perspectives. It helps to examine behavior, relationships and feelings, and develop workable strategies for specific situations. And as you can see from the slide, role play is an experiential learning process that engages students actively with an issue or real-life situation that they are likely to encounter. So what is the educator's responsibility in all of this? As you can see, it requires planning. The educator has to make the environment comfortable and respectful, establish ground rules, encourage active listening, facilitate and intervene if necessary, and yet still leave time for discussion and reflection. And the learning outcomes must also be met. And what is the learner's role? The learner takes on the specific role that is asked of them, listens and observes carefully, keeps an open mind about what information they hear or emotions they may experience. Analysis and self-reflection are also important in the learner's role play process. As you can see from the diagram, role play has many best practices. It can be used to teach how to save lives using CPR or how to behave in a stressful situation. The goal can be to gain insight by walking a mile in someone else's shoes. Or role play can use all three learning domains, the cognitive, psychomotor, and affective. I often use role plays in my career preparation classes to prepare students for job interviews. Role play is one of the most useful instructional strategies in my toolbox. Some students approach it with skepticism or even anxiety, but my observation has been that the majority find that it's a worthwhile learning activity, especially once they've had a chance to understand it, participate, and reflect on it. My ideal lesson involving role play goes something like this. First, I pre-assess the students' job interviewing skills. I give a short lecture. I ask students to review and develop answers to questions from a list I've prepared that's relevant to their training. I then do a mock role play in front of the class. That really gets things moving because they can see that it's not all that difficult. And then they pair off and interview one another. They repeat that process. And then they're asked to reflect on the role play experience and write down what they did well and what areas they need to improve upon. And then we do the debriefing where we discuss results and I ask for volunteers to share their reflections with the class. In this ideal scenario, everyone feels good about what they've learned, even if they know that they need more practice. The role play is often mentioned in course evaluations as a positive factor. But as in any scenario or instructional strategy, there can be a downside. Participation is absolutely crucial in role play, and not all students want to do it. It can be time-consuming to design and implement properly, and because of the emotions it can bring up, it can sometimes go sideways and turn into a bit of a gong show. But I have to say that rarely happens, and I think a good instructor would be able to handle it. So what can role play achieve among adult learners? In my experience, it provides rich material for discussion and reflection, enhances understanding and empathy, and acts as a catalyst for more experiential learning in the classroom. I especially like that it provides immediate feedback. And the studies bear this out. Role plays can enhance student interest in a topic, and learners can take ownership of their role and their responses. They can be tricked into working harder, which is never a bad thing. And the empathy factor is very high. Students who role play the part of slaves in pre-Civil War history developed a greater empathy and understanding of the experience than they ever would have in a typical lecture setting. To wrap up this examination of role play, let's go back to the basics. Role play is a valuable, experiential instructional strategy that, if explained and used properly, is a powerful tool to shift perspectives and create empathy. So, do what I do. Keep calm and role play.